Right.
What I loved was the opening of conference was the Māori, it just felt like really bringing in that whole of the New Zealand essence, and then followed by the Wangapeti Aboriginal dances, and then really honouring that Australian Indigenous culture. And for me, again, this year, it really spoke to me was that honouring of the Indigenous cultures of both of our countries. And I'm so happy to be involved in a business that has this heart of bringing that awareness in. It's not just business, and it's so nice to have that. So we're just going to do a quick share because we're knackered, so we're going to go to bed. 10 minutes each. So Ju, why don't you start and I'll fill in the gaps at the end, and then Aaron can go and I'll fill in the gaps.
Okay.
So 10 minutes. You got 10 minutes. I'll tell you when your time's up.
Well, yeah, this last year for me was real big emotion and quite an amazing eye-opener to the company. And this year, and of course the love and the gift that we have in our hands. And this year I really felt like it was a lot more of how we do this business and how we can do it better and with more heart and flow and grace. So we had Sam Lee's first of all was one of the breakout sessions, and she, even though she's going through some of the things that we've seen before, a couple of real good points that I got was the 80-20 rule, which is just being consistent with your posts and just making sure that you're doing like 5 to 7 at least posts per week, doing some lives in there, and just making sure that 80% of your posts are informing, educating and adding value, and of course showcasing your life and how much fun you're having and all of that kind of jazz. And if you're being really consistent, then you actually earn the right to add a little bit of product and dollar signs in there, which I thought was quite good, because I know felt like it's been quite a big shutdown with that new algorithm. But yeah, she said if you are, if you're showing you're working hard and you're adding value, then they'll give you a little bit of leeway. Another thing is, obviously she really just really highly stressed that scheduling is really something that keeps us consistent and helps us to stay panic posting. And she said it can really take 3 months to build your audience, and of course 1 week to lose it, probably even faster. A little app that she recommended as well, which I thought I'm going to give a wee whirl, is Animoto. And that is something that you can take your pictures and turn them into videos, and it's really cool imagery, and they basically add it to music, and you can kind of play around with that, which can be something maybe quite good for some ads. When it came to Simon Chan, he helped me quite a lot just with simplifying my DMO and actually just getting to doing my DMO, something that I've fluffed around with for quite some time, and I had known that it's been something I needed to do, but it just was stressed over and over again this conference. And I just really feel like I've now come away and gotten really clear with how I want this business to fit, how it can fit into my life, and just having a good checklist for the day and getting myself just really well prepared, and have the ability to wake up and just say, who can I help today? And I think that's put me in a new position of, rather than I'm feeling like I'm going to be bothering people, or what are they going to think of me? Now it's kind of just taken a whole new shift for me, just to really know that the reason why I'm doing this is because I really want to help people, and there's a shit ton of people out there that need some help. And after writing my list of people, which I'm still going, and I think it's going to be one of those forever evolving lists, of course, but there's just, every time I write down a name, I just instantly can think of almost 3 reasons why. And I sat in the car with Nat, and she was like, right, so this is how I do it. And she was just calling people and just actually having a good old chat and saying, hey babe, how are you? You know, and just literally having a friend conversation. Yeah, gotcha. Nothing to do with product. It maybe came in, it may be something that comes down the line. Hey Rach.
Hey.
Yeah, but it just wasn't, it just felt so natural and normal and so caring and filled with so much love. And from seeing all the stories that, and all the NMDs that were standing up on stage, you could just see so many different walks of life. And there were two in particular that really blew me away. And the first one was a deaf girl who had been blocked and node for her whole life. She'd studied things, and she was, you know, she was a very obviously a really intelligent woman, but no one gave her the shot apart from this beautiful business. And she's doing really good. And another one was a beautiful lady who is a teacher, and she had her mother there, and that for me was something that resonated. I really want to turn around next year and have my mama there too. She was she was a cool cat. And another who had been through cancer twice. And of course, there's that beautiful new NMD from New Zealand who homeschools 5 children, and her husband's also in the business. They live out in the country. There were heaps of country girls actually from Australia that were sharing their stories, and it just goes to show that that old "I don't have enough time," the old "I don't know how to do it. I don't know many people," really just doesn't. It doesn't matter with this business, because you can do it from anywhere, anytime, and really connect with so many people. Sorry, I'm waffling on a wee bit, but yeah, Simon Chan definitely said just keeping things really simple, really consistent, and making sure that you're making your demo, just scheduling your business hours so that you can stick to them. Do spurts of working minutes, which was going to work really well for me, because I know that my attention span and my ability to procrastinate is awesome. Very talented at that. So yeah, I think 15-minute to 20-minute bursts is going to be really, really helpful. With posture as well, with your post or your messaging with people, just keep it really brief, don't waffle on. And some of the words he said that would be are best not to use, they're a little bit hypey, and they can really kind of make people instantly go, ugh, nah, is partnered, I'd be honoured to work with you, opportunity, business, entrepreneur, residual income, upline, financial freedom. Some of those words he just said people get a wee bit icky with. So basically when you're talking or messaging, just pretend that you are talking to them over a coffee table. So you're using your own actual language rather than trying to what will come across as being a little bit salesy, which is, I know, where we all really don't want to be. Yes, I'm probably up to about 10 minutes now, am I? Yeah, I'll let you guys fill in my gap.
Awesome. Hey, Rach.
Hi.
How are you, babe?
I'm good. Yeah, all good. What about you?
Yeah, really, really good. Good to see your beautiful face, all your faces. We missed you guys. Yeah. We did take you all with us. You know, it really felt like I had my little team in my pocket, and kept focusing in and just trying to connect, you know, that energy back to you guys. Because the one thing that I want to start off by saying is, please intentionally block out the dates from the 15th. Is it the 15th or 17th, Drew? Was it?
15th.
Oh, you're on mute, babe. I think it was the 15th to the 17th of June next year, or let's go block out 14th till the 18th of June and just put it up on the vision board. I want you girls to all be there, because there is nothing like being there, because something happens. You know, one of the speakers said, and this really spoke to me, is he said, where do you get to, this is Paolo actually, who's the COO of Juice Plus. He said, Where do you get to be in a room of 1,000 people where every single person there wants you to be successful?
You don't.
It just doesn't happen, not in those numbers. And the thing about this business, this is our third conference, is going there, if it will dispel so many of your doubts, because there's an energy in the room of love, of connection. It's not just about money. And that came through from the top all the way down, every speaker, from the COO to the CEO to the guy that's involved with, the production, Mark Ledoux. These guys talk about culture. They talk about love. They talk about connection. And it's not just a money-making scheme. So I want you to really know that. But mark those dates out and put them on your vision board. Next year's Melbourne. So it's not too expensive to get to. But a few of the things that really stood out for me, Paulo Tierro, he's the COO, he was talking about the product, and he asked us, what's more important, product or the business? And he started talking about both, which I thought was really awesome. And this stuck out for me, is that Juice Plus is obviously more convenient than juicing. We know that. It's cheaper than juicing, to be honest, because to buy the same level of fruits and vegetables in terms of no non-GMO, no herbicides, no pesticides, etc. But then he said it's more nutritious, and we all kind of went, shit, that's a pretty big call. What do you mean? He said, well, the thing with Juice Plus is you'll actually take it every single day. Excuses get in the way of health, and one of the biggest excuses I know with juicing is it's too much of a hassle to clean the bloody damn juicer. And it eats up so many fruits and vegetables, so you're constantly feeling like you're buying stuff. So you'll take it every day, which makes it more nutritious because it means you have it every day. And then he said a lot of the nutrients are obviously in the peel, and we know that. But when we juice, what do we do with the orange? We cut off the peel. What do we do with the lemon? We cut off the peel. So that made a lot of sense to me. That was a bit of a penny drop moment for me, which I'm going to be using in my verbiage when I'm talking to people. What I loved about the business, and this is such a good way he explained it, is it's low risk, it's a low annual fee. The company makes the product, it researches and develops the product, it has a warehouse where it ships the product, it bills your customer, it collects the money, and it pays you a monthly check. So we don't have no overheads, so no overhead ache. Because it's so simple, they do all of that stuff for us. We have a team, yet we have no staff. It is such a viable business. There's no ceiling on how much you can earn. It's a great way to generate part-time income for those that work hard. So it's a part-time business. It can be a full-time business for some people, but it has time flexibility. And for a lot of people, he explained it, he used the word nirvana. For a lot of people, that is nirvana. Having a full-time wage, but having time flexibility to work when you want. So, I know all of these things, but hearing it again and again and again and again, it starts to really drop in until it builds my belief. And that's what we need to do, is just keep building your belief until you're so sure of what you are doing that people will follow you. What else did I have? Simon Chan. So he's the dude that does MLM Nation. So if you haven't, hey Trace.
Hey.
Hiya.
Good, how are you?
Yeah.
Sleep?
Nearly. We'll be sleeping well tonight.
Half an hour, obviously.
So Simon Chan, if you haven't, Chan, C-H-A-N, if you haven't listened to MLM Nation, and if you have doubts about the industry of network marketing, you go and listen to Simon Chan. Yes, he yells. He does. He speaks very fast. He's a little Asian man, like, wow, and he's really full on.
From Boston.
But I tell you what, he built a network marketing business in Hong Kong that went massive. And then he's decided he's not prospecting anymore. He just interviews the top income earners from MLM businesses. And he has obviously a lot of information. And there's a few comments that he said, how you do something is how you do everything. You know, there generally is this sort of theme in how you do things. Do what scares you, because that's how you grow. It's the most important thing. Share your vision, share your why. If you're earning less, and this was a real penny drop moment, if you're earning less than $1,000 per month in your Juice Plus business, you're talking to yourself rather than other people. You're talking too much to yourself and you're not talking enough to other people.
You're in here.
You're in your head. And like Linda even says, if you're in your head, you're dead in this business. No, this is not really a thinking business. This business is honestly all about talking. And the biggest thing I got from conference, and this is the first time I've really got it after 3 conferences, is that you have to do the work. And the work has to be consistent. So, for example, for me, I can whinge and I can whine and say, in the business for 3 years, I'm nowhere close to earning the income that I want to be earning. I'm working so bloody hard. I've been working so hard in the business. But what I realize is I haven't been working so hard in the business. I've been fluffing around. Oh, I've got to do a beautiful new flyer. Oh, I've got to go do my social media post, and then I get distracted. You know, the people that do well in this business sit down every single day or 5 days a week, let's say, and they say to themselves, I'm going to do a consolidated 15 minutes to half an hour. And when it's consolidated, what it means is they're just constantly reaching out to people. So Simon Chan uses a kind of a cheat sheet, which is, I want you to write this down, 3 new posts a day. And this doesn't mean you have to do it, but I want you to get what he's saying. 3 new posts a day. So it's 3, 5, 5, 3. 3 new posts a day, 5 new contacts a day, 5 invites, 5 follow-ups, and 3 people that you're going to send a presentation to. That is his cheat sheet, and that's what he had next to his desk every single day, and he would go to work. So when he'd say, I'm going to work, he'd go look at his cheat sheet and he'd go, okay, sweet, I've got half an hour to do all of that. Now, it doesn't mean you as starting have to do those numbers. You could do 1 post, 1 new contact, 1 inviting, 1 follow-up. And the presentations, obviously, that's going to come as you start to talk to more people.
As the follow-ups begin. Yeah.
But the thing is, it's about actually doing the work. It's about having conversations with people. And that is the work. There's no way to get around that, guys. Like, honestly, that's getting down into the trenches and actually doing what matters. And we haven't been doing that.
No.
Like, we definitely have not been doing that at all.
The best way I heard it explained was one other guy got on and said exactly the same thing. And he said, well, if you think about it, everything's like a recipe. It's like a recipe for something, right? It's you know, you want to cook this, here's the recipe, here's how you do it. And the reality is this job, you know, is about exactly that. It's talking to people. You're not out there throwing up Juice Plus on them. You're just having conversations that then creates confidence and creates trust because you're friendly and you're having friends and you're looking for friends, basically. And then at some point, Juice Plus comes into it, and that's where the follow-ups are and the presentations are. And then, you know, for some of those guys are saying Juice Plus won't be mentioned sometimes for months. In fact, even one of the girls who's extremely successful organised an event, got to the event, had heaps of these girls around, having a fantastic time, and pulled the handbrake on Juice Plus and said to the girls, no, I'm not doing it. Because if we do it now, it's going to ruin what we've just created. So let's not do it. Let's do it next week or next month. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not, you're not there trying to chase a sale. You're not trying to hit a home run on the first pitch.
Yeah.
You're trying to get a few rounds in, get the communication up, get everyone on the same path, get everyone understanding where you're coming from, you are genuine and interested in what they're doing, what's going on in their lives, before you start throwing this out there. Because the thing is, what will happen in those conversations, those extra conversations, you'll pick up more. And what really came out to me of that was, picking up where people are having problems. And because we all do, we all got issues going on. We've all got some kind of issue, maybe not personally, but in our surrounding environment, whether it's our children or whether it's our parents or whether it's our cousins or our sisters or our brothers or our nephews or our nieces, but some of those things comes up. And that's when it leads into conversations, which he can then say to someone, don't know if it's for you, say no if you want to. What do you want to hear about this? I'll send you a presentation. I'll send you a video that a friend's done. And we've got videos there from us, from other people. But like one of the girls said, in those conversations, she finds that there's something will come up. One of a few things will come up that she has in her bank on her computer. She's not a PT. So if something comes up about fitness and stuff, she goes to one of the PTs that she has an upline and grabs one of their videos and goes, I'll send you the stuff that a PT does. You might be interested in it because she's done very well out of it. Send it to her. If it involves a mum, this lady's not a mum, she goes to one of her upline or one of her side buddies who is a mum, who's got a story about kids, sends it to her. If it's about whatever it goes into, whatever, I don't like saying the word pain points, but that's what it is. It's when people hit those pain points, it'll lead into a thought in your brain, I know someone else in this business who's experienced that pain and has a way of getting through it. And then you send that presentation to them. So Simon Chan's thing was good because it was nuts and bolts, how you dig a hole, basically.
And he was really good because he said, use 5th grade level language. Like, honestly, we're just talking too much to too few people. That's the key. You talk too much and go on and on and on about it to not enough people. So he said just dumb it down, like really honestly dumb it down. Talk less, but talk to more people. And don't be the expert. Don't pretend to be the expert, and just ask loads of questions. So a really good example of this was we had conference, and then on the following day, on the Sunday, we got to go to a special thing with Anthony Golay, who's done a lot of training with Tony Robbins. Really awesome guy. Him and his wife are a beautiful couple. And to be honest, they're my new heroes in this business because they were successful before. They had 4 chiropractic centres. They were deemed successful.
Yeah.
And he tells the story about how there was a phone call really early one morning that only had a few hours sleep because running for businesses is really hard, obviously. And one of the girls at one of their clinics, which was 2 hours away, was calling in sick. So his wife, Kate, had to get up. She went in, got ready. She's about to walk out the door, and their little girl's literally digging her claw nails into mum's leg, going, don't go, don't go. And so mum's crying, the little girl's crying. And Anthony just the penny dropped. He was like, what the fuck have I created? Like, this isn't what it's about. This is not success for me or her or my family. We're so stressed. And it took 7 years of somebody just being there for them, Linda Evenden, just not vomiting on them, just always knowing that she was there and this is what she was doing. And they finally came aboard, and now they're very successful. They're both NMD 200 clubs. I think he's an NMD, isn't he? Yeah.
He is, yeah. Definitely.
So, what I love about them is that they've gotten themselves to a place financially where they're really happy, but they're staying humble within that. And they're doing this with a lot of heart. So do you want to tell them the example about what you were saying? What do you do?
Yeah, so I kind of interrupted the talk at one point, and because he's talking about, talking about sort of the elevator speech, what you say, what you do. And I said, well, what do you say you do? And he said, and there's 140 people in the room at this point, and he said to me, what do you do? And then I'm like, well, I'm a stay-home dad now. And I just left the job, and he goes, oh, okay, so what were you doing before that? And I said, I was obviously as a chef. And he said, so you made a decision based on your values to change your position and change your role. And I said, yeah. And he goes, well, I help chefs who aren't in their values
No, he said, I help single dads
Yeah.
earn an income from home so they can spend more time with their families.
Yeah.
So do you see what he did? Is he just listened to him?
He took what I said. Like basically, I in that moment, I inadvertently told him my pain points. I told him where I wasn't happy in my life and told him decisions I'd made because I was now a stay-home dad. I wasn't earning a massive income anymore. And I had left a role because it wasn't in my values, because he brought that up as well. And but obviously there's money there. There's money missing there. And so he said, that's what I do. He said, that's what I do online. I start conversations, and in that conversation, someone will say to them, on this, on that, on this. And he goes, and then when it comes to me, I pick those 3 things up and put them back to them and present them saying, this is what I do. I help people who are single dads, could be single mums. I help FIFO workers, could be...
Well, let's do an example. Let's do it because I found the examples the most, like in the whole conference.
Yeah.
The examples, Simon Chan will put up some messages, and I will probably next week's training, I'll have everything up on my computer, all the photos I took, and I'll flick you guys through the screens that I took photos of. But it's the examples of, I know when I was starting this business, it's just like, but show me how. I don't know how to have that conversation. I know all of this superfluous stuff and I know what I'm meant to do, but I don't know how to do it. So let's do an example. Okay, Steph, I'm going to unmute you. Oh, you've muted yourself. Oh, we're playing the mute-unmute game.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah. So let's do an example. So let's say we've just met each other and I'm like, oh my God, you're gorgeous.
Oh, you do.
Yeah, baby. And then I say to you, okay, so what do you get up to, Steph? What do you do for work? Like, what do you do?
Well, I'm self-employed and in a business that I work really hard at, and some weeks it's really stressful and I don't know where my freaking rent money's coming from. And I'm also a solo mum, and I like to be there for my son and work hard to provide for my son and myself. And I also have an online business.
Let's pretend you don't have the online business yet. Let's just pretend that you don't have that.
So it's 5 there.
So there was she just told me about 6 pain points. Am I right? So I jump on her at this point and go, oh my God, I've got something for you. I continued the conversation. It sounds amazing. It sounds like you're really busy. It must be really hard to maintain some balance in your life, is it?
I am quite often on the brink of burnout. Yeah, I'm very busy.
And how old's your son?
He's 5 years old. He's just started school.
And where's your family?
And all my family's in the North Island, and so
you don't really have that immediate support of whānau around you to kind of babysit and stuff to make your work life load easier.
No, I don't. I'm having to build my own new support network here.
So let's say we kept, in this exam, we kept chatting, and at some point you're going to say to me,
what do you do?
Oh, well, interestingly enough, I actually help single mums and people who have their own business to build an additional income stream for themselves so that they can have more balance in their life.
Boom.
And at that point in time, you're going to go, well, fuck, what is it? Because it's personalized. I mean, let's take Juliana. Ju, what do you do, Ju?
I work hospitality. I work at, the Bicycle Thief. Work some long hours. Yeah.
Do you love what you do?
I do. It has its moments. You don't want to be doing it forever, that's for sure.
What is it that you don't like about it?
Oh, the hours. Just not having enough time to spend with my husband. We really want to have a family, have a child soon, and that's really not. I definitely don't want to be going back to the restaurant business after I have a wee pop it for sure.
And so let's say we continue on, and then Drew says to me,
What is it that you do?
well, it's really awesome we're having this conversation, because what I do is I can help people, or I help people to build an online business where they can stay at home with their kids once they have bubbers.
Oh, really? Wow.
But you get where we're coming from.
Yeah.
So it's just, guys, it's honestly, you've got to have the conversations, whether they are through social media, whether it's Insta, whether it's Facebook, whether it's in person, whether it's your warm list people that you already know. It's having the conversations. It's caring on people enough, and then asking them a whole heap of questions about what they do. And then it's about having that it's about having the belief that what you have, it can solve their problems. Now, if you're sitting there going, I don't know if what I have can solve their problems, then we need to go into some training, because what we have can solve all of those problems if that person chose to come on board and be supported by us and to grow their business. Yeah. Does that make sense?
I think that's the thing that, so what we've gone through, and this is what I took away from the conference, is we went a lot through the nuts and bolts and how to dig a trench, how to wash a plate, how to wash pots, the true get down and dirty what the business is. But then what we finished up with Anthony Goley, which I think to me was the best way to finish this thing, is the reality of what we do is we help people. But that's it. We help people. Now, if you can keep that in your mind, so please forget the sale. Forget it. I don't know if you ever played golf or one of those things, but forget about where the ball ends up. You've got to think about swinging the club, right? Yeah. It's the same as this. You'll be in your heart. You'll be genuine. You're here to help them. You're not here to get $60 out of them. That's what you get for helping them. That's a byproduct of the process. So if you are in those conversations, those messages, and you're starting to think, oh, sweet, they're going to buy, then don't send that message. Do you understand? You could be unattached to whether they buy or not. You've got to be involved in their life and caring about their life. And this is what this business is about, because, look, I spent 20 years working with people I didn't like. 95% of them probably I didn't like. But I had to care about them. That was my job. And I had to be there and had to do it, had a big mask on and so forth. In this business, you don't. So if you get on a subject and someone's got some out there views on something, you're having a messenger going, whoa. You've got to have a connection to them. You've got to actually want to spend time with them, because you will. They'll become one of your customers, potentially. Potentially they could be one of your teamies. Potentially you're on this call in 2 weeks' time. So you want to make sure that you genuinely care about this person. And that's where you come from. Don't come from trying to hit a home run. Just come from trying to make a friend. That's where I think where we finished up with Anthony Goley. That was the perfect way to finish up, because you learn all nuts and bolts, how to send messages, how to create posts, how to create intrigue in what you're doing and so forth. But the reality is, it's more than that. It's a lot more than that. I mean, you people here, Juliana, I've known since I was, 13. But the rest of you we've met in the last year or so. But we love you guys. Do you understand? Like, you really, really care about you. You're actually in our lives. So you want to reach out and get people, and you really want to care about the ones, because the potential is they could be in your life the rest of your life. So you don't want to, the first instance, they turn around to you and say, you remember you chased me for that sale? That's not the way you start a friend, is it? So remember, this is the intent, is to create friends and create someone you actually do care about. Because the reality is, what will happen, I guarantee this, through the posts you do and through how you do, you will actually meet people with the same pain points you have. Juliana, you'll meet people from hospitality. Steph, you'll meet people from single mums. You will. And this is the same for me. I know I'll meet people who've done FIFO and so forth. And I'll, this is what will happen. So you will actually have things to share, and you'll have tears and you'll have laughter, because they will be a reflection of yourself.
But you just got to do it.
Yeah.
So I want to see you do it this week. I want to see all of you do it this week. Facebook groups or Insta groups, whatever, like start to follow people that you know are going to have the same values as you know they're going to have the same pain points as you. Join Facebook groups. Like
Or
Steph,
Instagram.
there was I can't remember who it was that spoke, but somebody said that somebody had started, their business was largely based at helping people that had been through trauma.
Yeah.
You know, so join those groups, have the conversations. What I would like to inspire in all of you this week is for you to do the work. Okay, so have the conversations. Say to yourself, right, every day for 5 days, we'll probably have weekends off.
Yep.
But for 5 days, weekdays, we're going to actually go to work. So even we're in the sounds, I'm going to put my lipstick on and I'm going to sit down in our bus at the table and go, right, this is work time. This is a consolidated 15 minutes of just reaching out to people, reaching out, starting conversations. And Lauren Slocum spoke, and what stood out for me, she said, change what your heart is. If you think that is hard, doing that, compare that to what life is now and what it prospectively is going to look like until maybe you get the pension or your husband gets a pension at 65. Choose what your heart is. And then what I loved what she said is be patiently persistent. So she likened our business and the growth in our business to growing bamboo. She's saying like bamboo, you can look after it and it grows like this much in the first year. And then the second year it grows this much. And in the third year it grows this much. And then in the fourth and the fifth year it goes nuts. Yeah. And that's a really good image. And that's a true image of this business, right? Don't expect it to go, yes, there's some people in our business that are doing that. They are the very small percentage. Mm-hmm. So just do the work, be consistent, do the work, be consistent, do the work, be consistent, and it will grow. But the fact is you can fart around, but the work is that. What time of the day can you have your 15 to 30 minute time slot? It could be 2 15-minute time slots.
It's actually better if it is.
One in the morning, one at night. Simon Chan, he does a insiders group, which you can join. And I spoke to a few people in our business that are very successful, and they said it's been awesome because what it's made them do is do the work. So on his Facebook page, he'll say, right, okay, everybody, in the next 2 hours, and then 15 minutes of this, go and do it. And they all have to report back inside the group. That's what the Success Sisters thing was meant to be about. It's an accountability group. But really, I'll be honest, the person that you've got to get accountable to, it's not me, it's not him, it's not your upline, it's you. But you know what? If you can't be accountable to you, then make it one of your family members.
Yeah, children.
Because you will always do more for others than you do more for yourself. So for me, the penny moment for me this conference was like, I will do this work. I will sit down for half an hour every day and do this work because I never, ever want to have to say to my son, Daddy has to go back and work on an oil rig. I can't do that. Or it's not working out. We don't have enough money. We've got to move back to Nelson. So what is your pain point? What is your loved one's pain point? It might be, life. I want to give him a life where I can actually be present with him and have that financial stability so that we can go, awesome, let's go see grandma every school holidays if we want. Rach, for you, it could be for Warren, or it could be for your kids that, I want to have that income and that health for my family, but also I want to be able to take those trips. I want to be able to let Warren have a better balance of his work. Ju, yours, you went to conference. Trace, for you, it could be about your business. But it's doing that work. If you can't do it for you, you do it for somebody else that you love.
The thing I came back from that as well was this. Even when I got to my last job, so 20 years, just under 20 years of pretty consistent hard work, and I got myself to what was supposedly a senior management role. If I went on a rig, I'd still wash pots. I'd still wash pots. I'd still do the entry level job in that industry. I'd go in there, speak to the manager, have a chat to him, finish up lunch, I'd wash some pots and do some plates and put them away, help him sweep them up the floor. I'm sure it's still the same hospitality. So, you know what I mean? So sending messages on a smartphone to potential friends, it's not work.
Yeah,
it's not
work.
it's not. Yeah, it's hard. There's a challenge. There's an emotive challenge to it, but it's not. I'm not going to be getting RSI from it.
It's not hard work.
So you got to, and then you say to yourself, if you go out to another job or another business or another industry, what's it going to be, and what are you going to say yes to? Whereas this job is say yes to sharing a beautiful product and making friends. So to me, I don't know. I had this realization of that same thing. I was like, fuck, 20 years and I was still washing pots. We're sitting here talking about this business, digging trenches and washing pots. But I was still washing pots after 20 years in that industry where I was supposedly 4 levels up. I wasn't. No one was. I was one wrong email from back in the dog box, Whereas this game here, you may think it's hard, but what else is hard? Everything.
Yeah. Awesome. So I think that was our big moments.
We have some more probably we can go
We've
through.
got a lot more. I mean, we've got this book's full.
Hey, Noreen.
Yeah, babe.
I just want to say I am not